Hello, everyone, and welcome to my live stream with Mike Goldstein on 3 crucial things a man needs to feel in order to fall in love and want to commit to a real relationship with you. For those of you who aren't familiar with Mike, he is just an amazing coach. He's the founder of Easy Dating Coach, and he helps women get into the relationships that they've always wanted and maintain those. He actually has an 83% success rate for getting his clients into relationships quickly. So there's so much to talk about here, and I'm so excited. So welcome, Mike, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Helena, thank you so much for having me. I'm so pumped up to be here.
I am too. I am just checking to make sure that this is working. It looks like we are. If you guys can hear us and see us okay, if you can let us know in the chat. Sometimes I feel like it's different every time. And so I see everything seems to be working. So I'm super excited. Let's just jump right in. Mike, is there anything before we jump into these 3 crucial things that a man needs to feel that you'd like to share with women who are, maybe confused around this topic or who are struggling to attract a man into a committed relationship?
Yeah. So I was meaning to tell you this, and I'm like so excited by this. Like, I'm very data driven. And so I'm always looking at Match, OkCupid, eHarmony, Zeus for data from them on what's going on in the dating world. And the newest study that came out was from Zeus. And they asked men, what are they looking for women? Like, what is that one characteristic? And obviously, they got a slew of things, like 10, 15 different things that men wanted. But the thing that just outweighed everything else was men wanted someone who was fun. So I thought that was really interesting. But Helena, what do you think fun means?
I love that. Yeah, that's something I talk a lot about, but I know you're so into like the data and you have so much success. I know particularly with online dating and helping women with that arena. I think it's really crucial. I know especially like in long-term relationships, things can get kind of, everyday moments can become kind of mundane and boring. So I always have my clients like find ways to infuse fun and lighthearted moments and like lifelong memories into their interactions with men. I'm sure you have your own way of helping women do that too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think like for me, just looking at relationships, as you know, like there always are ups and downs, and you're going to have your fights, and you're going to have your even slumps in a relationship where it's just maybe a bad month or a bad week. And if there's not fun and you're not with a person that's fun and you're going to have these good things to hang on to, where you have memories, you have pictures, you have times where you just laugh and just enjoy each other, then what's it all for? And so I think men have recognized that, and they really want someone who's going to have fun with them.
You know what? It's really interesting that you bring that. I'm so glad that you brought that up. Is, a lot of women that I hear from, and I'm sure you get this too, they come to me and they want to talk about, how do I bring up this really important, serious problem in my relationship? And they want to just go right to the problem, right? And they want to like take it all apart and put it all back together with them. And a lot of times what that does, without building that foundation of fun and happy memories, it's like it just makes that issue bigger and bigger and bigger. Where if they were to take their focus off of that for a second and focus on the connection that they have with that man, a lot of things kind of just fall into place and improve on their own. That's what I've found to be true. Have you found that as well?
I mean, that is so spot on. It's ridiculous. And I want to talk about some of the science behind that, actually. So I'm sure a lot of our viewers know about the male brain and how, we always laugh that they can only use one side of their brain. And there's actually some science behind this. So if we have the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, there's actually 10 times more receptors between the left and right on a woman's brain versus a man. So if we're looking at like New Jersey and New York City, it's like women have 10 bridges and tunnels to get from New Jersey to New York City, but men have 10 less. So there's not any bridges to get to New York, so men can't get there. So they just stay on one side of their brain. So what that means is, let's say they're not having fun and we're just stuck, looking at this fight. They get stuck in that, and then they stay on that side, and they're like, oh my God, why am I in this relationship? All I'm having is experiencing this pain of this terrible fight. But if we take a second and let the man get back on the other side of the brain, which is having fun, playing soccer, or so you go play soccer, you go lifting, you go have a fun date. all of a sudden he got on that side of the brain. This side got some time to relax. And now when you come back to have your fight, he's going to be like so much more sensitive to your needs. He's going to want to listen. He's going to want to solve the problem. And he's really going to want to meet you in the middle. So to your point, like doing that is so crucial.
Yeah, another thing I've heard too, my background's in psychology, so I'm obviously super interested in all of that stuff. The corpus callosum, which is the like the thing that connects the two hemispheres. I don't know if I'm saying this perfectly. It's kind of like off the top of my head. In women, it's kind of spongier, so we can multitask very well, right? We can go back and forth between the two sides of the brain, the two hemispheres, where for men, it's like denser. So just like you said, they can get stuck in something, right? So, and something I've noticed too, working with so many women over the years, is that men just want to feel good in the moment. And if you can kind of create good feeling experiences with him and just create some good memories, have fun, like you said, often a man will, I don't want to say forget that anything was wrong, but they're single focused. So if you're having fun in the moment, some of those things that we think are serious issues kind of, I don't want to say fade away, but they work themselves out on their own a little easier than if you're just every single time you're with your guy, you're like constantly talking about what's wrong, trying to work out issues in the relationship. Now, of course, it's fine to talk about some of those things, right? But if that becomes the like primary undercurrent of all your interactions with a man, like you said, you know, he's not going to feel motivated to want to spend time with you and talk about things, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% correct. Like our friend Ariel Ford always talks about, like, you got to give in a relationship. And if both parties are giving, and if the woman specifically is giving the fun and giving him what he wants, by the time she then says, well, I need this, if she's already given, he's going to be like, no problem. I got you. So absolutely.
I love that. I love that. I just want to take a second and say hi to everyone joining. We have over 100 people watching live right now. So hello, Dawn, Jody, Yolanda, Ed Marie, Yvonne. There's so many people. Lori, Noreen. Thank you so much for letting us know you can hear us and see us okay. I feel a million times better about that. So let's jump in, Mike, to these 3 crucial things that a man needs to feel. And if you guys are watching, make sure to stay till the end, because the last one that Mike's going to share is really one of the most important things that's just absolutely vital for the success of a relationship. So what's that first thing that a man needs to feel in order to fall in love and want to truly commit to a woman?
Yeah, that's such an amazing question. So the first thing is feeling needed. And in today's society, we've really gotten away from that. Like, obviously, back in the day, in the caveman days, like, the man hunted and he got the food for everyone. And now women, they don't need that. They've got Seamless, they've got Grubhub, they can get their own food, they've got their own careers, they've got amazing houses, they've got friends, family. They really just don't need a man for really much of anything. And even like, supposedly men are physically stronger, women can just hire moving companies and hire a strong person. So once again, they need him for nothing. And so, but we still want to make a man feel needed. So it's vitally important. And it can be so simple. For example, Helena, if you and I went to Starbucks and we're on our first date, and you're this independent woman and you've got it, you're like, all right, I'm going to get my coffee, I'm going to get my sugar, I'm going to get my milk, I'm good, I'm ready to rock and roll. But instead, there's such an opportunity to connect with your guy, and you could just say, hey, would you mind getting me some sugar? So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get some sugar. So I go walk over there, I grab the sugar, and I give it to you. And then you pop it in. I'm like, Mike, you're such a gentleman. Thank you so much. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I am a gentleman. Like, yeah. And now we can connect a little more. And I feel like I'm contributing to our relationship that's blooming here. Does that make sense?
I love that. It reminds me of this story. I've never told this story before. From a very close family member of mine is online dating, and a man offered to like bring coffee to where she works. And okay, maybe that was a little much too soon. They hadn't actually met yet, but her response to that, she doesn't really know anything about this stuff. She hasn't studied it like I have, but her response to that was like, hey, just to let you know, I don't need a man to bring me coffee. I can get it on my own. Right? Yes, I've seen your reaction right? So, there are ways to, I always say there are ways, if a man is offering something, you want to like really take that in, right? Even if that was a little too much too soon. Men need to feel needed. It really is true. Now, what would you say to women who are like that, who are fiercely independent, make a lot of money, don't really like need a man for things like that? What's the balance there? You explained it great. Do you have any more examples like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just talk about what's happening here at like a 10,000 foot level. So men in general are just going to be the gas pedal, right? They're trying to push the dating and try to push things forward. And that guy was trying to, be a little romantic, obviously a little too soon, but he was pushing the gas and it was her job to have the brake. Like, I don't feel comfortable yet. But we can do that in such an amazing way. Like she could have said to him, like, oh my God, that is so sweet of you. But it's a little early. So why don't we save that till, we get to know each other better. But thank you so much. Like, you're such a sweetheart. And he would have been like, yeah, I am a sweetheart. And he would have realized, okay, maybe a little boneheaded, maybe a little too soon. And he could have kept moving.
I love that. That's exactly what I would have told, a client to say in that situation. Perfect. I love that. Anne has a great question. Let's see if I can find it. There's so many popping in all at once. She said, what's the balance between, feeling needed? What about how to not come off as needy? I'd love to hear everything you have to say on that, Mike.
I'm sorry, her name was Anne?
Anne, yeah. So feeling needed, or making a man feel needed without coming across as needy.
Yes, that is such a magnificent question. Thank you so much for it, Anne. So there's a very fine line, and we got to kind of skirt that. And so, I call it nagging versus needed. So nagging is going to drive a man crazy. I've got the Jewish mother, so trust me, I know what nagging looks like. Michael, are you brushing your teeth? Michael, are you pooping? All right, we get it. Okay, it's terrible. But needed is so vital. And what that looks like is saying, hey, would you help me with this, please? And it's simple things. And you're going to want to have a dialogue with your man to see if he actually enjoys this. Like, I happen to be words of appreciation. So if someone says, hey, Mike, would you mind getting me a glass of water? And then I get it. And she goes, Mike, you're such a gentleman. You're going to see me smile and like light up like a Christmas tree. I'm going to be ecstatic. So the difference is not saying like, hey, you didn't do this. Hey, you forgot to turn off the oven. Oh, I can't believe you forgot to turn off the oven. Oh, you didn't do the dishes. The difference is like, Mike, you big, sexy man. It turns me on so much when you do the dishes. Like, I just love seeing the scrubbing bubbles and it gets me in the mood. Like, I love that. So like being fun, flirty, but telling him what he needs to do, but not saying you have to do it, but saying like, it's great when you do these things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can feel how a man would feel much more motivated to do that if it's almost like partially like his idea, or men are going to want to make you happy and make you feel good and turn you on, right? So if he's a good, masculine energy man, he's absolutely, that would really inspire him, rather than, him doing it because he feels obligated, like he has to. In that situation, you might get a man to do what you want for a little while, but if it's not coming from his own internal feeling inspired to do it on his own, I've found that he won't keep it up for very long. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's spot on. And it's unfortunate. Like, he may do it for a little bit and you may be like, man, I've got this dating thing figured out. Like, he's doing everything I need him to do. But over enough time, he's going to build resentment. And then, there could be a breakup, and there just could be a man that doesn't like you anymore because you've become his mother. And every woman watching on here does not want to be mom. So we got to stay away from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Men do not want to romance their mother, right? It's like, if you can they'll start kind of acting out in ways that they may have when they were like an adolescent, trying to individuate and become their own independent person. So that's really, really important. Jody asks, what if it's a long distance relationship? How do you make him feel needed?
I mean, there's so many different ways. A great question, by the way, for long distance. I think the biggest thing is obviously you're doing a lot of phone communication and Skype and all that fun stuff. So saying like, and depending on how often you're getting it, maybe you're only talking once a week or because you guys are busy, but saying like, oh, I love hearing your voice. And it's so amazing when we get to chat on the phone. So complimenting him on that stuff. Does that make sense, Helena?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you can see these comments or not, but everyone
Sure.
is talking how much they love your replies and you're so amazing and this is so helpful. So thank you guys so
Oh,
much for
thanks,
your feedback.
guys. Appreciate it.
Mike's so cool. His energy is so contagious. It's like drinking a double espresso every time we do one of these interviews. I love it. I love it. Let's move on. There's a bunch of great questions coming through. Let's move on. And the ones that are a little off topic, we'll try to get to at the end. I know we don't have too much time today. So if you don't mind, let's move to the second thing a man needs to feel in order to fall in love.
All right. So what we're doing here is we've made the man feel needed. And now we need to make him feel appreciated. So we kind of talked about this. The same Starbucks example. Hey, Mike, would you get me some sugar? I get the sugar. And then it's like, and it has to be genuine. If you really feel this, like, wow, Mike, you are such a gentleman. Like, it's so rare that I'm around a man that acts this way and behaves this way. Thank you. And if that's truly from your heart and you mean it, that's great. And I'm going to light up as a man and I'm going to be like, I'm needed. Like, this is amazing. And let me give another example. Probably why I picked this profession too, Helena. We love to give advice. So if you're a woman and you have a legitimate problem that's happening and you really would like someone's opinion, ask your man, be like, what do you think about this? And you genuinely want to hear his opinion. At the end of it, once again, appreciated. Oh, Mike, that was such good advice. Like, you've probably just changed my life. Thank you. Like, thank you. I'm going to do that on Tuesday. I'm going to implement the exact strategy you told me. You're a lifesaver. And I'm like, I'm a lifesaver? Wow. Like, does that make sense?
I love it. And what I love about everything you're saying is it's so easy for us to do that, but the effects of it are huge on a man, right? Like men really, really eat this stuff up and it's something they really, truly need. I don't feel like they get a lot of it, maybe in other areas of their life, right? A lot of men, they don't feel respected and appreciated and needed and all these great things in maybe in work. So if you can be that one person in his life that really appreciates him, makes him feel needed, like you said, you'll become like irreplaceable. Like I kind of am feeling it, like you'll become that shelter for him, that safe space that he wants to come back to at the end of the day, rather than another obligation, another person he has to, try and please all the time and it's never enough. That's the feeling I'm sort of getting. Am I on the right track there?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. Like, just to kind of move a little to the side, like think about like when we're watching TV or movies and there's that ditzy woman and, we all kind of make fun of her like, oh, she's not that intelligent. But for some reason, all these men are gravitating, whether it's in real life or in movies. And there's some aspects we can steal from that woman and still be intelligent, sophisticated women. But like, let's say you're at a happy hour and that one coworker is the one, assuming this is okay, you're at a bar and maybe she's like, oh, Mike, you're so funny. And that's such a good story. And the woman that's saying like, oh, I'm funny and oh, that's a good story and giving me encouragement and appreciation, I'm going to gravitate and want to talk to that person. Even if it's a guy, a woman, anyone that's like interested and is like nodding, like, this is interesting. This is what I want to hear about. Like, this is all exciting. And then obviously with that same woman, you still have time to be sophisticated and get your point of view across. You don't need to be the ditzy one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. That's funny you said those exact wording is something I say. Men tend to gravitate towards people who make them feel appreciated, right? And they tend to avoid situations where they feel incompetent. That's something I would love to hear from a man's perspective. It's something I say all the time. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would think both sexes, neither one of us want to feel incompetent. Yeah, I would want to, if someone says like, Mike, you're a genius and you're the best coach that ever existed. Like, I'm like, oh, I know we only have a 1 hour session, but can we hang out for another 15 minutes? Like, I love when my clients say that kind of stuff and that makes me want to work harder. And so absolutely we gravitate towards that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. That's so funny. Right as you said that, Brenda typed in, awesome. I love Mike's coaching very much as well. Thank you. It's so great. There's some great questions
Brenda.
coming in. Yeah. Let's see. Sarah asks, how do I handle a shy guy who's interested, but he's not making a move? I would love to hear your perspective on that.
Oh, that is such a good question. So I'm going to tell you a story. Is that all right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
My friend, Ken, is wildly shy, and he's a catch though. So Ken, I changed his name to not get him, but Ken is a PhD data scientist. So literally just sits in front of a computer and is typing away data, period. So wildly introverted, good looking, played competitive soccer, makes good money. He's got everything going for him, lives in San Francisco. Anyway, Ken says, I love Bumble because women have to message me first. Beautiful. So I was really interested in this. I go, Ken, so what do you do most of the time? He's like, well, I go on a date and then, I just kind of wait. And if they message me, maybe I'll hang out with them again. I'm like, so you're not proactive at all, right? I'm like, okay, interesting. But wait, what if you like really, really like the girl? Like your last girlfriend, what happened there? Oh, well, her I messaged because I really wanted to go on a date with her. So I went after her. So I'm like, So the moral of the story is very simple. If a guy is really into you, he's going to message you. And if you have to wait a little bit, maybe, some men out here, especially the ones maybe you're interested in that are wildly successful, they've got busy jobs. So maybe just give them a little time and you go do all the fun stuff you want to do, whether it's going to the gym, shopping, seeing your girlfriends, hanging out with family. Like you've got stuff going on too, obviously. So he comes, cool. If he doesn't, like everyone on here is probably freaking awesome. And quite frankly, you all probably have a ton of options. And I've done online dating with all of you. You guys have a lot of options. So you can, if you're not there yet with the person, then, go pursue a man that is going to come after you.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, literally everything I always say. I love hearing it from a guy's perspective too. Yeah. A man who is interested will go after you, even a shy guy. Right. So great answer. Let's take one more question, then we'll move on to the last and final thing. Let's see. Hannah asks, how do you handle having boundaries challenged in the early relationship stages gracefully?
Ooh, that is a loaded, tough question. And I'm so glad you asked it. So it really depends how early and how severe of a boundary. So if it's not that severe of a boundary, the early stages, you want to just have fun. And assuming you really like the guy and you've taken time. So I always spend time and write your top 5 things that you want in a man. And if he has your top 5 and he is wavering around this boundary, then keep going with him and have fun. But if you get there and maybe you're at, date 5, date 8, date 10, and you're like, all right, this is pretty serious. It's time to have a talk with him about this boundary. And I do a 3-pronged approach to handling boundaries. The first step is you go in a very fun way. Like, let's use the boundary of sex because sex is easy, right? Let's say you're on date 3 and you're not ready to have sex. He wants to have sex. You go, Mike, like you are so freaking hot and I like you so much, but I don't have sex until I'm in a relationship. And now you give him hope. But Mike, when we are in a relationship, it's going to be awesome. And obviously say it's sexier than me. I can't do that. But anyway, so you're stating the boundary, but you're having fun. Now let's say that doesn't work. So that was step 1 is the fun approach. Step 2 is telling him how you're feeling. Mike, I just, tried to tell you, when you try to have sex with me, it makes me feel unappreciated for my brain and getting to know me. And the good guy's gonna be like, oh, I didn't want you to feel that way. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, let's keep talking. Like, let's get to know each other. Or if he's not interested, see you later. He'll be like, oh, I guess I'm not getting laid on date 3. I'll try someone else. which is fine. That's a good result for you too, because you're getting rid of the guy that was never going to commit to you anyway. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I was just going to say, you want to weed out, if what you're looking for is a real relationship, you want to weed out those guys who are just looking for the conquest and who are going to fade out if you don't sleep with them right away. Absolutely. I love what you said too. In that first example, you're kind of giving him something he could get later if the two of you, if he puts in more effort and you spend more time together. That's very attractive to a man, right?
Absolutely. And it's the hope part, we always forget that. We always kind of state our boundary, but giving the guy hope is so vital. From a man's perspective, if I'm on, date 3 through 5 and I'm trying to have sex and then I find out like, hey, it's not happening. And I just start thinking like, I guess I'm not attractive. I feel rejected. I guess she's not that into me. And is this ever going to happen? So I may just stop calling that woman thinking like, I guess she's not that into me and I'll move on to someone who does like me. But if you say like, I do like you and it will happen at some point, I'm like, so what do I got to do to get in there? Like, okay, I got to step up the dates. I'll take you maybe on a weekend away or like, I'll step up my game. Let's be romantic. So, and that's what ends up happening when you tell him there's motivation. He's going to step it up to try and impress you and make you happy.
Totally. That's the kind of stuff I say all the time. So I'm so glad you're saying it too. I love getting a man's perspective on all these really important topics. And I couldn't have even said that better myself. So let's jump into the third and one of the most important things that men need to feel in order to fall in love and truly commit. Mike, what is that third thing?
Oh, yeah. Great question. So once again, we got needed, appreciated, and now one of the most important aspects for a man and you to coexist, and you need this as well, is being accepted. So obviously, if a man doesn't feel safe to be in his own skin, it's never, ever going to work long term. Or if it does, it's not going to be the magical relationship we're all looking for. It's going to be someone resenting the other person, someone pretending to be someone they're not. And no one wants to pretend long term. It's just not going to work. And so being accepted is, you really need to look at yourself, because this is the hardest part, because you're never going to like 100% of the person you're dating. But that's why I only allow you to have 5 things that you need in a person. So you list 5 qualities. You don't get 6, you don't get 7, 5. So if the guy has the 5, then you start, accepting, quality 8 or 9, maybe he doesn't have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And how would a woman go about making a man feel accepted? Is there something she has to do or say, or do you have any examples? Because I know that is so hugely important. Just like we want to feel accepted too. It's very, very important for a man.
All right, Helena, I'll embarrass myself. Why not? So in my last relationship, like I lived with the woman, and like occasionally I'd fart. Guys do that. It was kind of gross, whatever. And instead of being like, oh, like you're so disgusting, like I don't even want to know you right now, she would just kind of like laugh or be like, ha ha ha, or like, oh geez. And just like, so I felt comfortable to be in my own house, like wearing sweatpants and, maybe fart. So it's really just realizing like, okay, it's fine.
I love that. I'm just scrolling through all these questions here. Totally. I know one time I think it was the first interview we ever did together, like last year, you gave this great example about a guy with his bagel with the poppy seeds, right? Was it like a client of yours? I don't even know if you remember this, but
I do.
Yeah, that was a great one too, because that's something I can totally relate to, being a little like OCD and probably like hard to live with. Can you give that example as well? Because that was a great one.
Yes, I would love to tell that story. So just so you know, I borrowed that one from Ariel Ford. It's not my original. Anyway, there's this wonderful couple. They're married, and you got John, who's I'd say like 20 years older than his wife, Melissa. And so Melissa, every morning, John goes and gets himself a poppy seed bagel. And He loves it every morning. Then every single morning, Melissa finds all these poppy seeds on the floor. And so she goes on the floor and wipes up the poppy seeds and throws them out. And one morning, she's so mad at John. And then she sees the poppy seeds and she's like, oh, come on. Like, why? And she's about to freak out and lose it. And then Melissa finally goes, you know what? If those poppy seeds were not there, that would mean John was no longer in my life. And she got this immense sense of gratitude that John was there and her husband and taking care of her.
So good. That one I just remember was just so helpful for me personally. And I know a lot of women, it can be so easy to focus on what we don't like. And I know, we're relationship coaches, so I kind of get it. But when I'm working with like a new client, what they normally do is email me like a big list of all these things they don't like about their man, or what they want to change, or what they hate about the men they're attracting. And I totally understand that. But what I've really found is when you start focusing on what you love about a man, what you appreciate about him, what he does to make you feel amazing, those aspects of him actually get bigger and bigger. Like, you'll start to see more of that in your experience. And I've found this across the board, really, with all of my clients. Is that something as a man, I mean, I can, or think of it the other way around for everybody watching, who would you want to spend more time around and be in a relationship with, right? Someone who's focused on the things they love about you, or someone who's constantly focused on the negative and what they want to change, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're brilliant. Absolutely. And like you said, like, if you appreciate one thing, it's just going to go exponential. Men are very formulaic in their brain, in the sense of like single focused. So if you say like if he takes you out to dinner and he buys it, and then you're like, oh, I love going on dates with you. Like, that's so amazing. I love spending time with you. He's like, wait a second. So all I got to do is book a date. She likes that. I got it. I'm going to book more dates. So, and then you can compound that on like everything. Like, oh, I finally got him to put the toothpaste away. Like, Mike, you're so sexy when you put the toothpaste away. Like, oh, that gets me going. Like, okay, what else can I put away? I got this. So just keep him moving forward, and appreciate all the positive things he's doing.
I really like that. It's something that just came to me, something I've heard before that I've always kind of been interested in, because I know you're kind of an expert in the male brain and how that works versus the female brain. And a lot of times what I've heard and what I've found is men kind of watch your reaction to things in order to gauge what to do next, right? Okay, like, she liked this, just like you said, I'll do more of this. Or, oh, she didn't like this. Okay, I'm going to back off from talking about that topic or doing those things. Is that, so I can see how this formula, making him feel needed, appreciated, and accepted, would really allow him to almost like bloom into his best self in the relationship when he's with you, right?
Oh yeah. Like, and you can kind of, obviously you can't change a man. You're never going to change a man, but you're never going to change characteristics, right? But like Helena said, we can get better behaviors and make a man better. Like, we always hear at wedding vows, like, if Helena and I got married, like, Helena made me a better person. And that's what it is the woman, like Pavlov's dogs, if you will. Every time a man does a good behavior, it goes like, good job. Like, you did it. That's awesome. And then all those behaviors keep compounding over the years, because you keep getting him to change minor behaviors, and he likes it because he's getting his appreciation, and you like it because you're getting the behavior you want. So it's fabulous.
Amazing. I love that so much. I know we're a little short on time today. Thank you guys so much. I can't wait for you to read these comments, because everyone was just like loving this so much. So I'll definitely have to have you on again, Mike. I feel like we should there's so many videos like on how to maybe inspire a man to want to meet your needs, or understanding the way men think a little better. I think that would be so much fun and so valuable for everyone. So let's talk about your free gift a little bit. For everyone watching, it's just in the description right below this video. You can go check that out. But yeah, tell me a little about that.
Free gift. I love free gifts. So this one's freaking awesome. And this is one of my most watched videos, and people love this. It's 4 signs he's falling in love with you. And this one's just genius, because I can't tell you how many times like women ask me like, is he into me? Is he not? Like, not really sure. And that stinks. Like, I wish I could just shake all the men and be like, just tell her how you really feel. Like, stop playing games. Just be yourself. But this video is going to make it so much easier for you because you watch this. It's 4 simple things. You'll be like, oh, I guess he does like me. Or, oops, I guess he doesn't. And this works about 97.5% of the time. When I run it against all the people that my clients date, 2.5% of the time is the only time these 4 things are wrong. So this is wildly accurate. Of course, there is that 2.5%. So don't like ruin your life and break up with someone over it. But it's very good at determining if a guy likes you. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as the rest of my community has.
I love it. I have to say, like, literally the number one like question or comment I get on some of my videos in the comment section is like, I can't tell if he likes me. I'm so confused. Like, this is what's going on. I'm so confused. Is he interested or not? Or is he falling in love with me or not? So I know that's going to be so helpful for everybody. Just scrolling through these last comments. Sophia says, could we please recap the 3 things? Yeah. Needed, appreciated, and accepted. Right, Mike?
Dude, you got it. That is spot on. Make them feel needed, appreciated, and then accept them, the whole of them, the good, the bad, the ugly.
I love that. So everyone, please go check out Mike's free gift. That's in the description right below this video. Mike, is there any like last words of wisdom or anything you'd like to leave everyone with before we close out?
Yes. I mean, this is a whole nother like hour, 2-hour video, but like the most valuable thing I can give to single women is when you're attacking online dating is just make it a numbers game and ask out a gazillion guys and then pick, 1 or 2 to go on per week. But like be so aggressive. And we could spend 2 hours for me explaining this, but bottom line is online dating, you don't exist as a person. You've never met. There's no masculine, feminine at the online dating aspect. Once you get to the date, absolutely, there's masculine, feminine, and all the stuff we just talked about. But online, just ask out a lot of guys, get on the dates, get your numbers up so that you meet an amazing person. Because one of the biggest problems we run into is women are saying, I'm not meeting a good guy. And I asked them, well, how many people did you message? How many people have you asked out? How many dates have you went on? And the numbers are like this. Make the numbers like massive. Like I sent 50 messages this week. I sent 100. I sent 150. Now we're talking some numbers. And then, we can start, helping you out with some of that stuff.
That is so interesting. We should do a whole video on that because it's different. And then I would imagine you would have her switch into her feminine energy from there and then let the man lead from there. I'm assuming.
That is spot on. So like just to finish up the date, like you have an amazing first date. You go, oh, Mike, that was the best date of my life. I hope I get to see you again. And now you be feminine. And the feminine looks like, as Helena talks about on all her videos, don't call, don't text him, no smoke signals. Let him come get you. Even the shy guy, he's got to text you. He's got to call you. He's got to get you on that second date. And that's how you know if he's interested because he asked you on the second date. If you push, then you're going on your masculine side and you'll never know if he's really that into you.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you brought that up because I see so many women, saying don't do online dating and then this and that. And it's like so many of my clients have met their husbands online and they're great guys. So it's all about the way you do it. And I know that you're like total expert at this. You're on like the Today Show talking about your method of getting 83% of your clients into relationships from online dating. So we should probably do some more videos about that if you're interested. But for everyone watching, thank you so much. Feel free to give this video a like and a comment if you enjoyed it. Let us know your experiences with these 3 things that a man needs to feel needed, appreciated, and accepted. So Mike, thank you so much. And I hope we can do this again soon.
Thank you so much. And for all those ladies watching Helena, she is a pro at appreciation. Just watch, if you rewatch this, watch every time I say anything. She's like, Mike, you're a genius and thank you. And then you guys can't see my face after that, but I get this huge smile And I'm like, oh, Helena's the best. Like, I feel so appreciated when I talk to her.
Oh my
So
gosh, that's so funny that I like it's so second nature for me now that I literally don't even know I'm doing it because it feels good too. It feels good to appreciate. If you could just go around life looking for things to appreciate, that's all you really need to do to live this amazing, fabulous life. I've really found so this will become like second nature and it'll start to feel much more natural once people try it and start to get some great results, especially in their love life. So I'd love to hear everyone's experiences with this. And Mike, I hope that we can do this again soon. Thank you so much again.
thank you for having me. Take care, guys.